are talking about the NUX Cerberus. Now, full disclosure for you guys, I never do paid gear reviews unless they're a product that I would actually use in real life. So I have to tell you, I'm getting paid to do this, but I wouldn't show you anything that wasn't up to my very high quality standards. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through some of the parameters of this Cerberus. Kind of a cool name, Cerberus. I was calling it Cerebro, like that X-Men thing, but it's Cerberus. So I finally got that down. And as a lot of you know, I am a big pedal nerd, so I'm not really into multi-effects pedals. When I think of them, I'm usually like a little put off. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna have like a big old board of pedals. I don't really like everything to be all in one. However, this isn't just a multi-effects pedal. It does a lot of different things, and I think it could be really valuable if you don't know, I can't get 10 or 15 pedals or something. This could be a really good option for you. So let me just tell you how I would use it. I would also recommend you check out Pete Thorne's demo of this Cerberus pedal because he's even more of a gearhead than me and understands this stuff even better than me. And he'll go into some of the intricacies, which I'm kind of just gonna gloss over. I'm gonna show you, again, how I would use this and how I think this could be useful to you guys. So, as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of knobs and a whole bunch of stomp switches, and there's a variety of different options regarding how you get the sound out of this thing, and I'm going to tell you about two of them now. The first one is how I have it set up, which is we've got the drive and the distortion, which these are two different analog distortions and overdrive sounds, and this is coming out of the Cerberus and into the front of my amp. So we've got my guitar going into the distortion and drive analog bank that's coming out of the Cerberus, out of the distortion and the drive, and into the front of my amp. Now here's the first point we can pivot. I have an effects loop in the back of my guitar amp, so I'm going from the loop send coming into the modulation and delay part of the Cerberus, and then coming out of that same modulation and delay bank and into the loop return. So if you don't have an effects loop, then obviously you're not going to do that. What you would do is just go straight from the drive input and the distortion input and then come out from the modulation, assuming you wanted to use all these different effects. So I'm not going to go much further into the weeds on that. This isn't a lesson on effects loops. This is a run through of a really cool pedal. So I'll just play you the different sounds. This is, again, how I have it set up now. My preference with the effects loop, but I'm also going to play it just as you would treat a regular guitar pedal, into the pedal, out into the front of the amp. And again, I can engage just the drive or just the distortion, or if I want kind of a more saturated sound, I can engage them both simultaneously. Here's what it sounds like with the distortion and drive in front of the amp and the effects loop controlling the modulation and the delay. So again, without getting too far in the weeds, there is so much you can do with this thing. As you heard there near the end, you can switch between a tremolo. There's a kind of a flanger chorus thing happening over on this side, and these different switches indicate different kind of parameters for those respective effects. Over on the delay side, we have delay and reverb, which you can either dial in individually or on top of. We also have over here our delay time and how many repeats, decay, all that normal stuff that you're used to. And over here we have in the distortion and drive section, I think is really special, the routing order for the distortion in the overdrive, depending on how you're using them. These banks here can actually be activated to house 4 different presets, and each preset has their own multitude of banks. So you can actually dial in a ton of different tones with this thing. It's not just used as kind of 4 pedals how I was using it. I can have multiple presets on the A bank here. As you can see, seemingly millions of banks per module. And then if I want to go back into kind of a manual mode, I can do that. So check out the Cerberus if you are on the market for any kind of multi-effects pedal. I honestly think the sound out of this thing, just the distortion in the drive. If you want to ask me what stuck out to me about this pedal, of course the modulation delay are really neat, and the fact that I can put those through my effects loop is really nice because I can choose to use my amp gain if I want to, but really this distortion drive, I mean, you heard it. It sounds legit. It just has that warm analog feel, and again, the capacity for this thing is through the roof, so I highly recommend you check out the website. But I hope this was a helpful gander at the NuFX Cerberus, and I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments if you like me doing gear reviews like this. Maybe I'll do some more. Again, I never show you guys stuff that I wouldn't use personally, and you can bet I'm gonna be dialing in this drive distortion combo quite frequently. So until next time, keep shredding.